How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we have the complete UK Game Fest breakdown, including the deck list. So, I did put out a previous breakdown covering the three that was on one weekend, being the Leeds, Nottingham, and London Fest. Covered that what the top 8 were, what the decks were, but didn't have the deck list because some people from those events were intending to and did end up going to the Cardiff Fest. I didn't want to try and get them, put them out, because if they're running the same list, which some of them were, then it would give an unfair advantage to people seeing those and know what they're running and things like that. So I wanted to wait until after the Cardiff Fest before getting the deck list, and it has taken me a while because it was just getting hold of them, and plus in the EU you've got to get the permission of the person due to certain rights and stuff. So you have to get the permission from the people, and I've managed to track most of the people down to get their deck lists, and most of them were happy. Like I think out of all 32 deck lists, I was able to get 30 of them, missing out one for the Cardiff event because I had no idea who that person was. I've never heard of them before or met them before, and I didn't really know their name because I didn't get their name on the day. And from the BCC ID, like a lot of people, they don't have their actual name, they have their nickname. And trying to get the list from Cardiff, the TO ended up throwing the list away, so I wasn't able to get the list before they chucked it. But I was able to contact most of the players from that event and get them. And then there was another one from London, because the player that was getting it might use the deck for this weekend in the upcoming card market event. So I don't want to say just want to hand it out, and that's understandable, because if you're going to use the deck, you want to give it out so people can see what you're running to make it easier to deal with. So I managed to get all but 2, which is decent enough, 30 decks to see. So now we can see a good indication of what the UK meta is like due to the Fest, because the Fest still, even though they run at best of 1, the list still included side decks, and it is almost as strong as the best of 3. And I feel it's relevant. It's nice to see finally some UK meta, because we don't see that often, because we don't get many. It's been ages since we've had in-person events, like over 2 years, and it's nice to get back into seeing not just like certain like US and stuff, like what their meta's like, but seeing what the UK meta's like for when we get more events coming up. So I'll start each one down with once again giving a breakdown of each event, and then go over the list for each one so you can separate it and see it easier. So you can cut to if you need be. I'll see if I can get the little thing at the bottom to cut down to certain sections. So we're going to start off with Leeds, and as you've probably seen this before from the previous breakdown, this is the top 8 decks from Leeds. So no red at all managed the top, and no green. I think out of all the events, green only topped 1 event, which just shows how weak green is. But we got 4 red. Half the top 8 for the first event was blue. Then 2 yellow got in and 2 black, but yeah, no red, no green. And it was first place, Android 80 mil, part of myself, which is now, which after this weekend got, if you haven't seen the emergency errata, got neutered because the freezer now doesn't hit tokens, and that was the whole point of the deck. So essentially, that 1 errata killed the deck, so it's only good for this event and the Ever 2 on the Sunday. Which which is unfortunate if people wanted to try it again for the for Sunday on Cardiff, they couldn't, which I know some people did want to do. Then we had second place being Android 16, being the Tom Smith from Team Deck Planet. Shouts to them for being the best deck building, best and only deck building website in the game, and maintained regularly and with all the care for the players who use them. And then we have Giovanni on third place with his aggro Sin Shenron, someone who's dedicated to aggro Sin and just putting in the work and showing that with enough effort you can perform very well with the deck. Then we have fourth place being Peter Dance with Gogeta Zeno. Top 8 being Ollie Simmons, big notation with his blue Bojack, getting all that hyper on Bojack. Because a lot of people do say that Soul Striker is the best blue lead. He shouldn't prove that it's not. It is blue Bojack, which he's doing a good job of doing. Then we got Wisdom from Josh, who was recently recruited to Team Deck Planet after this event. And then we got Gogeta Zeno being Dav Taylor, the aggro king of the UK. And then Blue Baby, piloted by our good buddy Rob. who I think managed the top 2 events as well, so we'll get to see that. So if you look at these decks, we're going to see them now. So start off first, we have my deck. Because I'm Jimmy. My deck for the Leeds Fest I ended up taking the whole event with, being Android 18. So you can see side deck, the main deck just includes trying to get that focus on the effect, with the side deck being here to cater to certain matchups like the Ape and Golden Avenger to help put those cards in to guarantee the mill. Android 18 to help deal with certain things. Same Absolute Municipal to help deal with certain cards that come out. Unlike Protector being an uncounterable negate, which is helpful if your opponent's trying to swing, and then Caller to stop the counter from being even responded, just stop the counter from happening. Unlike Protector being a negate, that's like Weesis Coercion being untap the energy as well, but uncountable. And Dirty Burst to help with those big bodies like that U7 can drop. So that's a list, pretty easy, like not really worth looking into anymore because it's now a dead deck because Freezer no longer functions as it wants to in this deck. And then for second place, we have Tom Smith with his Android 16. Once again, like most of these players in the top cut are, well, in these top clubs are players that are very dedicated to a certain deck and have put in a lot of effort and hours into testing, perfecting their list, and getting that knowledge of like matchups and stuff drilled into the head with constant practice and testing out. And Tom is done it with the Android 16. So pretty standard of the main deck, like including just like the American guy did with his second place one. Focus on the Android 16s, maxed out on those super combo stuff like that. The Android 21s for options bring off the 7-drop, and this tech one of the Villainous Rare, if I want to say. I think it's the Villainous Rare. It's a master hand destruction because you got these 2 5-drops that are the bane of it to get this out. Boo Unison, standard, Baby Hatch, Trunks, just standard there. In the side deck is when most of these decks come into play, like why they did so well. Like Tom incorporating the East Kai to punish your opponent for playing cards on his turn. Ball goes to help deal with those blue decks with the D-Magic stuff. Tapion being his super secret spicy tech to help deal with cards that can't be removed from battle, from the battle area, like things like the Freezer and things with Indestructible, and even cards like the 9-drop Sin, because of that you can use his -2 to choose the card, negate skills and put under, but of course it's just like with the Khalifa Unison for Kale, it needs to still have a marker on when it minuses, so it stays on board, otherwise it doesn't get put under there. But that was his way with dealing with things like Indestructible and Freezer, things that can't be removed from the battle area due to skills on the card, and negating that, absorbing it, so it's out the way to deal with things like that. And very strong tech, and very like tech savvy of Tom. Really good idea. I think he got a shout out for from Ollie as well for giving him the information about that to put in his deck to help him do so well. Then we got Gotenks as the barrier move on the side because a nice unison helps remove things through barrier. Then you got Realm of the Gods to help deal with like combo out and help deal with things that either higher the energy cost on your opponent's turn, on your turn, that are on your opponent's board, or defend, get a 10k draw, and bottom deck something that's 2 cost less. It could be handy in some games. Dirty Burst for the same thing to help deal with U7 when they drop a guy, make it so they can't attack. Mafuba being his tech to help deal with the mill deck, having the Trunks as one way to stop. You can come down, and if it gets through that, have Mafuba that help make sure it's no longer a freeze and doesn't see the minusing the mill. And Blue Impulse as a tech because it plays green in here, so if your opponent plays anything on your turn, you get the nuke their board, not ignoring barrier with this being the tech choice. So that was Tom's deck, potted him second. And then for third place, we have Giovanni Castaman with his Aggro Sin, being standard Aggro Sin, only running one of the Power Super Sen because you can only one now with the limit on one of the most recent Rattle lists, and not running any extra cards because they cost energy and you want to be playing it for the Shadow Dragons. Also incorporating the 9-drops in chain as well because it's really good. Even in best of one, it's just a really good chain, deals certain matchups. And then Recipe Stat, and also playing to the promo Sin just because if you activate this ball and your opponent wants to counterplay it with something like a use a counterplay that's going to affect the 4-drop when it comes out, you can bring out this 3-drop. It doesn't affect it because it's got deflect, and has a nice way of being able to keep things tapped down, and especially with your, I think there's a combo with this and the 4-drop, be able to use this 3-drop to put your leaders tapped, and then get this 4-drop up to keeping your opponent's leaders tapped down. Don't know if you incorporated that, but it's a good choice. It's all the many Shadow Dragons. Then for the non-Shadow Dragons being just a super combo, Krillin being a very good super combo, Cooler being a very good way, just if your opponent has a Floodgate negate or a Floodgate counter, stop it for energy because that's when you're going off. Cell still being a very strong, probably the best secret rare to put in this deck because you could easily drop 12, and even if it doesn't have quad strike now, still put pressure in. And then SS4 Bardock being the overwhelm, just the more aggressive overwhelm, which is a good choice for when it's an aggro sim. Then for his side deck, he's got the Kortsukai, which a lot of decks put in, if they can put it in, to help deal with floodgates and things. A few more another 9-drop and 4-drop to help with the Sin Chain to bring it up. Realm of the Gods, Black Kamehameha to help with another card to help with removal and also defense if need be. Cheetah Units of Fury for those matchups that play high level battle cards for cheap early. Kami for a board wipe. Flying Nimbus for defense, and Chi-Chi to help deal with those blue decks that want to use D-Magic and stuff like that to help defend and get their energy back. But that's for 3rd place, and then for 4th place we have Peter Dance's Cell Xeno. So one of the 2 Cell Xenos, Peter Dance managed to get in the top 4, and this is also just a note, this was an event where the top 4, before playing out the top 4, agreed to split the prizing, because normally it would be for 1st place gets a winner stamp Kai and a non-winner stamp Kai, 2nd and 3rd both get a non-winner stamp Kai, and in a 4th place wouldn't have got any Kai. So for these events, I think it was for the Leeds, Nottingham and Cardiff event, there was an agreement when it got the top 4, that top 4 agreed that they split the Kai, so it was winner gets the winner stamp, and then 2nd, 3rd and 4th get a non-winner stamp. So everybody still gets a Kai even if they come 4th, but the winner still gets the winner stamp one, which is the more shinier one. And then with Peter Dance, playing the Gogeta Zeno and standard really, most of the stuff, like you play most of the load of Gogetas, also incorporating the 5-drop Trunks, because that's one that you can easily get the warp, play it for 2 energy from your warp for 2 energy, and then get those 2 attacks in and fill back up your drop with from your battle area to put stuff back in there if you need be. So you can like overwhelm higher battle cards, and there's a lot of overwhelm and playing the user free stuff. That's also free Super Kamehamehas in the main to help, because you can easily get to awaken down to 4 quite quickly, quite easily, and allows you to stop this floodgate negate, or stop those floodgates, and the token negate to help defend and get a token. And that this one's being great for the fact that the token also has common power, so if you don't use it to defend or block an attack, you have it for combo power for your turn. And then for the side deck is incorporated Secret Identity for board removal, Petrification to help deal with the effect negating and help deal with things like the Android 80 mil in the day. Also be able to deal with the U7 battle cards, like anything it swings, you can negate the attack, choose something in the battle card by discarding a card, and negate the skill, make it so you can activate skills or attack or combo or anything like that. Heavenly Wizard Demigod to help deal with when things drop, when decks drop big things early at 3k or more before they get to turn 4. Been to remove that. Kortsukai being an ever card, that's fantastic to help deal with punch your opponent if they want to play things on your turn. Tenacious being like a kind of Nimbus effect on with Overwhelm, so your Overwhelm it costs 1 black, but now you've got 25k body on the board, and then your opponent's next turn you can attack one more time with once with battle cards that turn. And Dark Power Black Mass saying to help punish decks that want to play things for free at 15k without keyword skills on during turns, and also give you some soft awakening as well, so not too bad. And then that gives us that's the top 4. So now we have the top 8, being the first one being Ollie from Big O Notation with his Bojack. Just once again, also also came first in Swiss in this event, so went undefeated but then lost to me in the top cut. And this is Bojack deck, so for anybody who's been interested, there's also been a this also did a deck profile covering his performance at Cardiff on Crossworld CCGs if you want to check that out, or if you want to check that out, come here. So this is all his deck he ran. I think he ran the same list for both events, because I think he was happy with his list from this event after doing so well, just being unfortunate to face against his worst matchup in Top Cup, and then took the same deck to Cardiff. And this is his main. Like, he goes into better detail about the cards in the interview, so it's best to look at that. And let's just break down all the decks. And his side deck having the Burr for hand control, East Kai to punish them for playing cards in his turn, SS Kava Prowl Zenith to help deal with 4 cost or less removal because it doesn't choose the card, it places, so it's the terminology. Around the Gods to help deal with good defensively to help deal with little things, and offensively to help remove big things. 4th being if he needs it. At the Tapion Unison, once again tech to help deal with things that have indestructible can't remove from battle area by skills, because you negate skill and put under it. Dirty Burst to help deal with things like U7, so when they drop their 8 drops they can't attack with it. And Bougie Evildoer, once again another card that's also on theme with the deck, to deal with things that are more than energy that's been played early, to stop them for like potentially 2 turns from able to do anything like attacking or being useful in any way. That's Ollie's deck, and then for the next top 8 we have Josh with his Wishmaster deck. So he managed to get all the top 8. I think he does go into detail of his list and his matchups on the Deck Planet YouTube channel, which I'll link down in the description below. So check out the channel. If you're a fan of the best and only deck builder in the game, then you should check out their YouTube as well. So go and check his YouTube if you want a good explanation of like the card choices, why the cards are chosen in there, like behind his list and everything, and then details about his matchups as well. You can all go there and find that there. This is just going to be a breakdown, going over the list quickly. We'll show them the list and then go over the side deck. So you have Rumshi, they help like a unison to help that if you play 4 markers can help, is basically like a Turtles for your opponents on sideboard, wipes all their things out in rest mode and draws your card. Max power and has a negate, and also removal for big things that are played early. Cheetah, striving to be best, barrier removal. Jiren, basically the thing that the only card ready to deal with, turning the tide if you're going it's blue. Frost Deadly Poisoning is like a bloodlusty kind of thing for this because it's a blue yellow deck. Zeno to help warp that remove things, and this is a good tech I imagine that was used for if they went against Android 18 mil, because they can put it down 5 markers, get rid of all the tokens and also your opponent's field. Dirty Burst, once again a card that was in most people's deck if they were playing blue, to help deal with U7 if they drop their big guys when it came to it. The Burr there for hand destruction, and their Freezer for a board wipe if they need it for a later game. But then we have the another top 8 being Rob's Blue Baby. So this is a list that since Crossfit put the breakdown up and people saw it, they've been asking for the list, and Rob's been holding on to the list, but then he's given it to me so I can do the UK breakdown for all the Game Fest events. So here is Rob's list. If you want more detail about about this, why he put everything together, I can get an interview with him. I think he'd be happy to do that. So just comment down below if you would like to get an interview with Rob to go over his list to go more in depth on it. But this is his main deck, and then onto his side deck he had 1 Jiren, which I imagine is for Android 17. The Burra being there for hand control, Heroic Prospect being for against decks that because this could be down to at least 2 without the use on board, and this allows you to deal with cards that drop big battle cards that harder in energy early. Kami being a board wipe for when your opponent goes wide. Dark Power to help deal with things that are played for without keyword skills at 50k or less. Got this guy to help deal with, kind of do the same thing, but for 20k or less. Make him punish their hand by going to warp. And the Inceptor being able to counter and help deal with boards by being played, giving you 2 20k swings, and then putting 2 things your opponent's board on the bottom of the deck. So that is his side. And once again, if you want to get me to do a interview with Rob to go over his list, feel free to comment down below and I'll try and get that to happen. And then the last deck off the top 8 was And then the other Goji, as I know, piloted by Dav Taylor, our resident aggro king here in the UK. So as you can see, he's got a bit of a different route than Peter did. He went for the mirror instead of the Pycon, got a full playsets of that and the Kai. More, I think, I can't remember Pete's, even though he hasn't been that long. He did have the Pan instead of the Kai, because I think Peter did say he didn't own a Pan, that's why he's running the Kai. And I think going for more, like to make sure he got as many as times as possible for the Gogeta chains. Only one of the SSG chunks, I don't know if he's because he only had that one. One Kai. He was going for the 8-drop Gogeta as well. I think he slowly cut that because it wasn't as, I can't remember if he said it wasn't great. Going for S4 Bardock as well for an aggro overall. Only 2 of the, because he's got enough of the 1-drops for the 1 Goku overall because he can grab out the things. And for extra cards being 1 Petrification, only 2 Super Kamehameha, 2, I think he had a different cut of 2 Super Kamehameha and 3 Token Negates in response in it, like this is different to Peter's, which is 3 Kamehameha and 2 Token Negates, but then also having a Petrification in the main. And then for a side deck, 2 Dark Power Plant, or playset of Dark Power Plant, I'm saying, because he can bring him out as 1-drops. He can easily boost them with 1-drops as well with the lead. Gohan to help deal with blue with their things like D-Magic, Tenacious, kind of Nimbus effect, and Overarm to help you survive and never turn. That Brainwashing and more to help deal with your opponent's going for a strike skill. If you feel like your opponent's going to go with a lot of strike skills, to help mitigate that. Another copy of the 8-drop for a later game to have another option for it. Rumley Gods, Crimson Hero Strike. Imagine it's like a removal for things bigger on your turn, and then a bit defensive you need it on your turn. Minus Energy Ball matches as barrier removal for low things, and also can be used an extra 15k attack on a swing. Then a 3rd copy of Super Kamehameha and a 4th copy of Token Negate in the side. So that's all the list for Leeds. So now let's have a look at the breakdown for Nottingham. So this is the breakdown for Nottingham. So once again, we've already seen this because I did the breakdown previously, but just still going through each one each time. We have, so this was mostly red, like 6 red decks, so red didn't do anything in the last event in Leeds, and now in this event, the next day event, red was all over the place. And then only 1 blue deck and 1 yellow deck sneaking, no yellow, no black this time. Well, once again, sorry, no black, and once again, no green. And then we had first place, myself playing Red Tyrion. Took a second event in a row with a different deck. And we have Luke Jackson on King Piccolo. Told him to play on the day. He's been loving this deck, so I told him to play it. And told him to do a lot better because he's been practicing with it, and he did it. Took my advice, and he did really well. Then you got Rob again, topping, but this time from 3rd with Blue Baby. And we got Lewis. I can't remember. I'm not going to mispronounce his name, but Lewis coming in top 4 with U7 Goku. Remember, this is another event where the top 4 agreed to split the Kais. So everybody gets a Kai with all of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th getting the non-winner, and 1st place getting the winner one. So no one walks away empty-handed, but have to get in top 4. And in the top 8, we had Axel on Yellow Trunks, Joe on King Piccolo, Danny doing his 2nd ever event playing the game and topping with his 2nd event, which is very, very, very strong, very good, and a nice performance. And then we got Devon on Caller Mill. So let's go and have a look at those decks. So the first list we got is my Red Tyrion deck that I managed to take 1st place with. So I switched to a different deck and tried to be a bit different to how I played on Leeds being defensive to get that turn so I could just drop throughs and mill. And this one I went for a full-on aggressive. So this is the list I went with. There's a better coverage of it on my double deck report, which I'll also link down below to other people's channels that have lists here. And for the side deck, it was Baby to help deal with if I play against Android 18, which unfortunately no one's playing on the day. Just to play this, absorb all the tokens, because you can just keep doing it unfailing, because it's not once per turn. Mine to help deal with blue decks and their Dimension Magic, stuff like that. should help stop things that are 5k coming in, which is really handy against certain things, but never really used. Would 100% use more of this Vegeta instead. Jiren to help deal with if games went long and I went against blue deck playing Android 17 or even like SS4 Vegeta. Bardock to help deal with as an overrealm to take switch between Bardock with either of these in realm. This being the one that deals with things that are 6 cost or higher, so decks that like Akira Sin or just Sin in general, and Gogeta Sin and things like that. Be able to warp all their 6 drops or higher by playing this, and they have a 25k swing. Identity being for if your opponent's playing loads of weenies and stuff, deal in the opposite way. Raise to help deal with decks that go wide with 20ks, and Wolf and Fist to help deal with things that have 15ks that you want to get rid of, and going for barrier being fantastic that way. So that's the list for first place Europe. And then we have for second place, we have Luke Jackson's King Piccolo deck. So a little bit different to how most King Piccolo decks are. It's got the standard of the like the 1 drum, because you can only run 1, 4 of the Ever Demon Clan, 4 of the Unison, the 1 ruler you can only have 1. But he played 3 Scions. He also played the King Piccolo Evil Dictator, 4 of the 1 drop, 3 of the 4 drop that goes on top of it, 4 super combo, 3 testing, and he was trying to play a bit different because he was enjoying this different version of it, being the 2 Purina, like 3 places of Purina because it's a searchable Namekian for Assimilate, and 2 of the Eradicated Beast because once again they're never typed for Assimilate, so you can get that, use that Assimilate to get any of the ones you wanted. So I have this like 1 drop, I think. No, it's like either these 2 targets here, these 3. So he's essentially playing 5 copies of this Eradicated Beast and 6 of the other one, using Assimilate to help thin through his deck and get these when he wanted them. So you can charge the green, be able to play Eradicator and have that way. And with the Eradicator as well, I think you're able to play it off if this 6 drop dies, which is I think he ended up never using this and decided all these 8 cards out for his side deck stuff. I think he was staying for a day. Like he wanted to try and do it, but it's just always siding him out. And then Pan Secret Rare and Secret Identity is his overarm. And for his side, he had 2 Dark Power, like I was saying, to help deal with things that spam, play things without keyword skills, punish them that way. Kozakai do the same thing, help kind of fix your hand and deal with punish your opponent for playing things that 20k less. Goku Divine Present to help defend and stuff like that, because you can play that defensively, because Piccolo doesn't use much energy, to help give your leader a 5k boost and have this 20k dual attacker that becomes a 25k in your turn when it attacks. Vegeta Unison being a very good Unison, I think he enjoyed as a tech option, able to turn forward, apply it down, do the -2 to shut your opponent off, being able to play things by effects, and then you can defend it quite easily as well. Violent Raise to help deal with things that goes well with 20ks. And every copy of Secret Identity to deal with boards. The Bardock as well, if you want to go more aggressive, and one of the Mai to help deal with blue. And that was the second place King Piccolo. Then we got for third place Rob's Baby again. So I think it's the exact same list. I think he said he didn't change anything, just to show that top again with the same list, same person, Rob. Once again, if you do want me to try and get him in for a interview to go over his list, so you can get more description of how he did well with the blueberry, then let me know in the comment section. I'll try and get that happen. But in fourth place we have Lewis with his U7 Goku. So this is the first event. Well, I think London was at the same time. I think it had 3 of them in. This is the U7 deck that topped the Knots event. So he's playing 4 playsets with most of them. He's also playing a different secret rare than most U7s do, playing the Broly, because if you don't know, you can drop this Goku down on your turn 4, swing with it twice, and then because it's a 35k red battle card, and they only restrict you to running red battle cards for the rest of the turn, you can then sack it off to play this Broly for free, which then gives your leader a 10k boost, turns off all your opponent's combo power by 5k, and the combo power and battle power of all the battle cards by 5k. And is a 40k double striker barrier, which is a pretty cool tech. So he's running yeah, most of them only running 3 of the Vegeta here, but running 3 of this Vegeta, which is a great one to help with deal with 9 really nice counterplay once you get turn 3, which you can easily get to. 2 Divine Presence, 2 SB Kaioken, 2 Quartz Clay. Missy Sex runs Quartz Clay now. New ruler because he's running Unison. Place of After Rage, testing opposition of Raise. So all these extra cards are very good, either played for free or are very beneficial. And then a full playset of the Yamcha and the Unison. Interested to know why he wasn't running Videl. I imagine if you're running this, you probably prefer to run Videl because Videl can get around Deflect. But yeah, most of the decks are running run the free specified cost Unisons because they're very powerful and it's easy to get turn 3 without any hassle in this deck. And then the turn 1 play being the Gohan to help search for any of you U7s apart from the 8-drop, and also, well, that's it. Mainly just turn 1 play to search for U7 pieces. And for a side, yeah, the playset of the Piccolo Junior, switch out on that if you want to switch out the Unisons. I imagine that's why he didn't play. That probably explains why he doesn't play Videl. So if he switches out the Unison for every Unison, the Videl can only be used with this, where Yamcha can be used both. 2 of the King of Vegeta's Imposing Presence to help. I imagine that's to help deal with the aggro easier, because after using it the first time, minus 10k and everything after has the minus 5k, which stops anything from barrier from attacking. And when you get a 3 or knife, you can pay it for free by discarding a card. Realm of the Gods, Ultra Instinct being a way to deal with things that are big in energy earlier before you get your 8-drop out. Dark Power Batman said help mitigate and punish things being played on your turn for free. Raditz being the thing to help deal with things that Soul Striker, like people untapping in their own turn outside of Awakening. And Broly, interesting to see what's in the side instead of the main, but to help deal with if your opponent leaves enough energy out, take a sneak peek and get that hand advantage and knowledge. So that's 4th place. Now let's get into the top 8 of Knots. So for the first top 8, we have Axel with his Yellow Trunks. So this is the only person I lost to in Knots, and unfortunately knocked out of the top cut in the top 8 because I won the die roll in the rematch. And as you see, quite a few different cards, very teched out, which is pretty cool. So a split with the super combos being 3 of the Krillin and 1 of the Zamasu. Running the Lord Slugs patches because it's a very good package, and the overall choice being the aggressive version with Fighting Against Fate. Only 1 Poutine, only 3 Repose. That's interesting. I know a lot of people run 4. Be interested to know why only 3. Then we got the 2 Champa, Bergamo standard, the 5 Flash, most of the standard, 4 of each of these, only 3 of these. I know a lot of people do run 4, but then I imagine once you see 1, as long as you see 1, you don't need to worry about the others, and you can just keep using them, those 2 for the rest of the game. 3 of the 8-drop, 1 of this Trunks, which is the one from all the way back in set 6. That's another Trunks to play. You can play off the Vegeta. I'm not sure what it's doing, but it allows you to look at the top 3 cards and grab a Yellow Saiyan, which is a good amount. That's interesting tech. The Gohan and Videl, they help deal with barrier for Yellow. That's pretty good. Secret choice being Cell Zeno. I think there's someone else what I played on the day who also had Cell Zeno as their secret rare choice. But I imagine this deck can easily get 12 quite well on this deck to drop that, which is so that's pretty cool. Might not have had Pan. Goku, Turtles, Realm of the Gods, Time Magic. This was an interesting one because I remember when I was playing Jiren, he dropped that on my 8-drop, so it could still use the effect to detach 1 to give my leader 5k, but it couldn't restand itself. 1 Nimbus. The Bulma for consistency to try and find these as well, or find just find some of your Vegetas and Trunkses, and then the Slug to help get out this free drop easier. So the full 60 card main deck, and then we had Dark Power like I was saying in the side for standard Dark Power like I was saying to help deal with things that I played by cheating out. Same with Quatsukai, on your turn punish people for playing things and many floodgates. Gohan for against hand destruction, because when it's discarded from your hand by your opponent's skill you can play it, and when it's played draw 1. As his Trunks is never as a Unison, because he's not running that I can see any Unison in the main. That's interesting. Dark Panish 3 being a really good late game finisher. Unison, Vegeta Unison Fairy being able to deal with things higher than energy cost for cheaper. So like U7, Sin, Jiren and things like that. Tyrannical Blow being a very good extra card, counterplay for things that are free cost less, while also turning off like Unison skills and stuff. Vegeta being barrier removal, and Whis being what most people are playing to help deal with people untapping energy on their turn in things like blue, or just attacking blue, things like Bean. So that's Axel's in top 8, and then for the next top 8 we have Joe with his King Piccolo, so the second King Piccolo that made it to top cut, but unfortunately lost out in top 8. I think he played the mirror match against Luke in top 8 and he lost that way. So he was playing it a little bit differently. So I think he also did top Cardiff as well, but he was running different decks, so his list is actually different to the other event, I think he said. So he's playing the standard stuff of the King Piccolo stuff, 4 Unison, 1 Ruler, 4 and 4 with the 1 and 4 drop. Just like Luke, only playing 3 Scions, but also playing what Luke wasn't playing, the First Step to Revel. I think this is a good card, I would run it. Well, I run it in mine. And then the 1 drum and 4 the other Reign of Terrors. Then 2 Attack of Demon Clan. I think Luke wasn't there on this because he was focusing more on the trying to have the green tech, which is pretty cool. And then the Piccolo Vegeta is a very good counterplay. Counterplay in red. I do need to get some more of these from my red decks as well. 2 Champa, 3 Yamcha to go with that. And then 4 Testing Opposition, but in a very good negate because you don't start off with many life, and you can go down quite low, and you can grab what you want from life to actually use if needed. Then 1 offs being the Kai Secret Rare instead of the Pan. I don't know, that might be because you didn't have the Pan, or because you might have preferred it. Bullet being the aggressive Overwhelm, and then 1 freeze Death Ball, which can put a big difference between the battle card or leader card attacking and the leader. Now for his side, 2 card again for barrier removal, Violent Rays to help deal with wide boards 20k or more, Max Barrier being a negate and also removal as well for things higher than energy, Corn Tower's Secret Medicine being barrier removal, well, things to minus through barrier, and little things at 5k which helps deal with like AOD if they've got the power body, and I think even in Trunks you can get rid of their Vegeta off the board, so that way if they're playing never Vegeta to build up on the lead to awaken early. And there are things that like have 5k barriers that are 5k battle cards that are protected by barrier. Kai for help against blue, 2 more Freezer's Death Ball and 2 more Brolys for that hand, for that like sneaking a peek at the hand if they got 2 more energy left open to get that knowledge and drop something from their hand. Then for next top 8 we have Danny with his Jiren. So Danny playing in his second ever event that weekend, and ended up topping with his Jiren. He's been having a lot of fun playing. So he played a little bit differently to my list. He had the same amount of Jirens. He's playing the promo one, so you can get I think his explanation behind that was so you can actually evolve more often to be able to put pressure on, and also get the switch out a card in hand for something else in your deck for never piece. 3 Testing Opposition, and only running 3 of this Jiren. I can't remember why he said why it was only running 3 of this Jiren. It was only running 3. Bardock is a Riveron as well. King Piccolo, Pan Secret Rare, running 2 Champa, 2 Divine Presence as well. 2 of the Vegeta Resolve, good counterplay. Yamcha, and also his Unison. He was running Unison. He wasn't going Unison as us, but he was going for the Piccolo Junior Unison instead of the Topo. So a little bit more costly, but also has that not worrying about many counters and helping the pop board while if the opponent keeps negating attacks. Raditz for the super combo, and some free copies of Kunchi, so he's playing 11 targets for the lead. I'm not sure if he whiffed many times on the day. And for his side, he had 2 Mai for the blue, Rays for wide boards 20k, SSB for more barrier removal along with the 8 drop, Kosukai to help punish people defending with floodgates, Broly. I decided the Broly instead of maining it, but it's nice to help peek at hand, get that information, and also rip something. Meki to help deal with linear strategies, Shu to help deal with things like Android 16 when they drop the 2 drop door ramp, things like that, listen to all 5ks you can't play, to prepare for hand destruction, and Vegito for that if you get the turn 4 you can -2, prevent your opponent lock your opponent out of the game of playing things by skills, and they have the hard cast, which is not something you want to do in this day and age. But that is his list for that. And then the last top 8 of the Knots Fest would be Devon with his Quarter Mil. So he's made a little bit differently to how most people play Quarter Mil. So he's using the choice being the Secret Rare, which I think most Quarter decks do play. Then 1 Sin and 2 Jiren. With that, 2 Videl counterplay. Destin Brace, he's also going for the Frieza Mutable Menace to get out things like the 5-drop Frieza here. Also running the cooler kind of Terra for like overtime mill as well. That's like slow mill. 2 of the Self-Titan and Tyranny. Also playing Frieza Colossal Dynamo as well, because this is also a blocker. And when it's played, your opponent mills 2, and then you choose one of the battle cards -5k to get extra mill. So you get kind of 3 mills out that way. And potential draw. 3 Oceanus for standard, and he's got the 3 Bean, 3 After Image, Death Ball, and is that all you got? And for his side, he's got the 1 Kai for double strike if you needed it, Bardock for the aggro, Overwhelm if you needed to go for the kill, Citus Fu for the draw and double strike as well, for 25k. The extra Vital, 2 Apes if you needed that draw power against figures like hand destruction, top of Floodgate Negate, Unbreakable for extra combo power because you got the untapping with Bean and stuff, and an extra Bean, the 4th Bean. Another copy of Jiren Units if need be, and Beerus Ball for when he gets to 4 because he can play it free off his lead to help stop things 15k or less. We go straight to drop and give your leader a 5k for the boost, which is for the turn, which is nice. I think it's only in your opponent's turn, isn't it? Yeah, if it's opponent's turn, to help that defend it a lot easier. So that was all of the Knots Fest. Now we have the London Fest, just to have a go back and look at the breakdown for London. So for London, once again, another difference to the day. So this one, so with the Leeds, we had mostly blue with 2 yellow and 2 black. Then the day after, we had mostly all red with like 6 red and then 1 blue and 1 yellow popped in. Now London, we only had 2 colours, mostly red and mostly red and yellow, with no blue topping, no black topping, and once again no green topping. So with this one we had Joe Dunthorne with his yellow trunks taking it first place. Congratulations to him. And then we have Giovanni once again topping again with the same with his aggro sin list. Then we have third place being red green. I think I got this ran the wrong way when I got the results. I think it was third place was actually red yellow starter baby, and then which is highlighted by Ned Atlas. I think he's got a on Crossworld's channel as well, a deck profile going over it. So if you want to check that out, check out Crossworld TCG. And then for 4th place, was red green launch padded by Max Fox, part of the Distinct Few. And then for top 8, we had 3 different U7 Gokus topping and 1 mono red Bulma. So we're gonna get into the list and have a look and see. Alright, so let's see the list now. So this is the wrong name. Got Joe Dunthorne, who placed first with London Fest. So here's his list. So a little bit different to the other ones we've seen. Playing the Pan Secret Rare instead of the Self-Titan Secret Rare, as you saw in the previous one with the Axel run. Meaning the 2 of the trunks, then a 4th playset of the 1-drop Trunks of Vegeta, and then the 3-drop Trunks of Vegeta. And then you're playing 1 of the 8-drop. So it's quite costly, normally easily stopped. 2 Basil, because it's a good card in yellow, like yellow good stuff. Then a split of the 3 Kurd and 1 Zamasu. Mecha, playset of Mecha, 3 Steadfast, 2 Cooler. Also playing 1 of the Cloud Terror, which is what you can play off the Robotic Repulse. And this is a nice one, is when you play it, your opponent reveals their hand, then you choose 1 battle card among them in your opponent's hand, and play it in their battle area in rest mode. So you can take out a super combo from the hand, put in rest mode so it's not usable, and then potentially pop it with stuff as well, because it'll be in rest mode on your opponent's board. Playset of Turtles, Pagamo, 2 Poutine, Bardock for that aggressive overrun. Then for extras, being a full playset of Fictional Form Flash, because it's really good to shut off skills, really good. Black Kamehameha being another really good extra card yellow now has. 1 copy of Power Sweep because it's limited, and 2 copies of the Token Negate. On the reverse side, you had 3 Vegeta Unison of Fury just to help deal with things that are bigger than their current energy, like U7 and stuff. Keep this down because you can keep tapping things that you don't care about for work yourself to get that free marker and -1. Piccolo being a good counter because just like how Zamasu was before it got ratted, it just says when if the card being played is 4 cost or less, so it can interact with Unisons, negating their skills when they play it, and during your opponent's turn it's a 2 cost because it's permanent. A copy of Freezer to help for the later game, for if the game's gone later. A copy of this 8-drop Trunks, which is pretty cool because it can evolve on top of Trunks Future for 4. That's double strike, dual attack, barrier, and blocker, and it's a nice activate main of once per turn. If it's in rest mode, you choose opponent's battle card in rest mode and up to 1 of their energy in rest, and the chosen cards can't be switched to active mode until the end of the opponent's turn. So locking down an energy and a battle card, but also giving yourself a double strike, dual attack blocker as well, especially at 30k. That's pretty powerful. Then 2 Kotsukai, 2 Gohan, because this is easy to use. Well, I'm not sure why this is instead of the Chi-Chi because the Chi-Chi's yellow. I imagine it's a Saiyan, but not many things here. There's no things like what's it called, Planet Vegeta to help search it. Then we got 2 Ishianas for the help the stall a little bit easier, and then some barrier removal in the Gohan Videl like we saw Axel maining. So that is Joe's list for taking first. Then on second we have Giovanni, and once again he played the same list for all events, so it's the same list as what I've previously seen, the same sideboard. Just going over the show who was placed on the list. And then for third place we have Ned Atlas with his yellow baby starter baby, and as I said, he did an interview with Crosswell TCG covering his list on there where he goes in more depth about the list and stuff with his side as well. So if you want to get a full-on description, check out the video on Crosswell TCG's video to get more understanding of his list and why he chose it and the tech choices. And then for the next one, for fourth place, we have no list from X because he did offer it before, but then he did mention that he is going to be attending the car market. He might be attending with the same list he used at the London Fest, so I'm not going to put it out there because I don't want to reveal his list if he's going to use it again on Saturday. And but when he after the event, I'll put it onto because all the decks are going to be down below. No, it should be down below, so you can go and click on them, see him, and test them out on Untap if you want to. And I'll put Max in there for after the event, the car market event's over, so you can check it out. But then for the top 8, we have for the first and top 8, we have Lucas with his U7 Goku. So little bits of differences. So instead of the Sin, he's playing the Jiren Unison. So once again, still a 3-drop Unison but running Jiren, and instead of Yamcha running the Videl, but only 3 instead of 4. Then 1 Champa and 1 Kai. That's quite funny. Most people just play 2 of the other or just 1 of the other. And then still the same. Playsets mostly of the U7 guys. 3 of the Master, but he's playing the SSB Vegeta as a secret rare. Also playing Exploiting Weakness, which is pretty interesting, and main deck in the Pretty Crown. Then for his non-Universe 7 red stuff, he's got the 3/4 Sky. Then he's playing two We Are Universe 7. Playset of the After Image taking 1 Final Guardian. So Final Guardian can be used from drop, so that's a not too bad a choice, and it doesn't warp itself, gets roof in game. And We Are Universe 7 gives extra access to your drop for things like your leader's Awakened side, but it's you get extra uses of that. For his side, he had Baby, once again another way to help deal with Android 18 if it came up, to help like absorb all the tokens so you don't get milled as much, because this deck can easily be milled up by Android 18. Vegeta to help a good counterplay for when you get turn 3 or low or higher, which is very easy to get to in this deck. 2 Imposing Presence for an extra floodgate negate to help survive the turns easy. Violent Rays for against wide boards with 20k or 20k more. Roman the Gods for early removal, and testing opposition for more negates as well. So that is the top 8 for that, and for the next top 8 we have Damien with his mono red Bulma. So this is the Bulma deck that Damien made top 8 with. So incorporating the Ultimate Shenron Unison to help do that early game of getting the Earthlings out to help defend, draw, and then you can use it to get out a bigger unison, because I think it's specific cost of 4, which he's not playing, so he wasn't using it for that last effect, just to more like pump out early cards out to help defend. And things like Omen Awaken, because he can have this extra card which is hard to kill, being a 2 specific card extra card, the 20k power, hard to hit a unison that's 20k power constantly, especially when you can drop it so early and keep the markers high on it. Android 17 for a good negate to bring back 1-drops, which brought back things like the Mai, which could draw, the Videl, which I think has a combo where you bring up the Videl, keep looping, get back the Vegeta, and then using it, just keep looping round and round. And then you got the Bomb Bunny Girl as a way to just keep, another way to, if anything's removed by effect, bring this out, bring back more Earthlings. And King Piccolo is a way to burn, and this Vegeta in Hidden Ambitions, I think, because it's all mono red, to stop things like don't potential if it's played for free, stuff like that. Any negated counter attack that's played for free, or if it's just counter skill, just any counter skill on extra card energy cost of 1 that was activated without paying its energy cost, stop it by just swing 1 and get a 5k combo body on board. And for the side deck, you had Broly for that sneaky peeky hand looking to get the knowledge and rip something from it. Exploiting weakness for like a board wipe of 20k, which is easy enough in here, and also becomes a blocker. After image, good negate. Cheer and help against Android 17 turn tide. We've got the Vegeta that you can play off the unison as well, and the Gotenks to help, which is a good one to help awaken. And like Sin, you can rip sync either 10k or less, or anything that's a multicolour from your opponent's hand, which is a good choice, especially if you need awakening. You're playing against a deck that isn't allowing you to awaken. Secret Identity for board removal and arrival in an overwhelm, because you don't need your drop really in this. Well, unless you want to do that combo, but then you can always play around that. And Violent Rays for wide boards, 20k more. So then we go for one of the next two U7 decks that made top 8, being Ben, and similar to Lewis, he was playing the SS4 Broly as his secret rare instead of the Vegeta. And there's not much. There's a few different little similarities between some of the decks. A few differences. Like same with the mostly the same U7 package, but only playing 2 of the Vegeta, which is, I say, is pretty good for barrier removal. 3 of the Vegeta Resolve Renew is a very good card, because you can easily get the free energy quite easy to make it a 1 cost counterplay. And then for his extra, he's not running any after images in the main, just 2 testing, 3 presence, and 2 rays, along with only 1 Koitsukai, and his units of choice being Jiren, but with 3 Videl. And then for his side, he's got his 2 stream card time regulator disruptor, helpful against weenie aggro, they're 2 costs or less. An extra copy of Koitsukai on the side, then 2 more rays and presence in the side. Also King Vegeta's Hidden Ambitions to help deal with like characters that play without paying energy cost 1. Then 3 Broly, because he didn't have any Brolys in the main, so he's got 3-sided to help do that sneaky peeky. Maya for helpful against blue and its defense, its things like D-Magic. Then you got Realm of the Gods, Ultra Instinct for removal early, and then 1 copy of Sin to add in as a extra unison if needed. So that's Ben. And then we go on for the last U7, which is Claire with her U7 Goku, being a little bit different, also funnily called Claire-Ku, which is quite cool. It's a cool nickname for the deck, and a little bit similar. So her one being Vegeta for the secret rare choice, 2 quarters kind of main instead of 1, testing and after image and raise, 2 Vegeta, and then for the unison being Jiren and Videl, and also playing 2 copy of Royal Evolution, because this is also a U7 card and can allow your leader to attack more to get more attacks in that using little energy, which is pretty cool to get things around that. Like, so if you get panned or anything like that and can't attack with battle cards anymore, you can take more swings at your leader if need be. Then for the side, raise for an extra raise. Strategy Unit 7 to give you your board barrier, because most of them are Saiyans apart from the Frieza. Yeah, so most of them are going to be Saiyans. Apart from that, Vegeta. Apart from that, Frieza and Videl. Baby to help deal with about 180 mil just as ordinary tokens. Extra copy of Quartz-Kai. This Frieza is a U7, and it's almost like a like for red, especially for this deck. It's like a war cry in a sense, and it has the actual when you put it activate a counter skill, just counter play, counter attack, just a counter skill. You can minus link through barrier for 8k, which is pretty cool. Then also a copy of Exploiting Weakness, Ultra Instinct for removal early, extra 2 copies of not extra 2 copies, but 2 copies of Present Presence aside, and then 2 more or just 2 copies. I wasn't playing any presence in this main, that's interesting. So 2 Divine Presence in the side as well. So that is the top 8 lists of London. And now we have the last event being Cardiff, which is one that got a lot of bad reviews about after it was run so poorly, and yeah, it's just run very poorly and just a shambles of an event. But still, the 8 people at the top, they still top with decent records, being either XO or X1, so they still earn their place in the top cut, and I'm still going to cover it because it's still one of the UK Fest events. So for the Cardiff, so this is the first time covering the Cardiff. So for Cardiff, this is a even different one. So I think this is the only event where 4 different colours topped. So all the other events, so the first one had 3 different colours. Same with the Nottingham had 3 different colours, and then London only had 2 colours. And Cardiff was the only one to get 3 different coloured decks in the top. So we only had 1 blue deck, being Blue Bojack, piloted by Ollie, big rotation, getting undefeated and then getting unfortunately knocked out top of Leeds. They coming back with a vengeance, getting first place again in this Swiss for Cardiff, and then winning out overall. Then you got second place being U7 Goku, piloted by Adam Porter. I think he put on a very good game in the finals as well against Ollie. It was fun to watch and listen while we were there waiting for him to finish because it ran so late. But good performance there. And we got Ian Dickinson playing U7 Goku as well in top coat, a little bit different to most of them that we'll see. And we got Ian Hinchley running being the only person in the UK Game of Fest top with a green deck. This is the only green deck that topped any of the fests, and he was able to do that at Cardiff. And then for top 8 we had Yellow Trunks piloted by Stephen James, and top 8 again with Giovanni once again topping again, triple top. I think the only person in the UK to top 3 events, pretty sure. And then we've got King Piccolo piloted by Joe, who also topped Nottingham, and we got Zamasu Wish piloted by, I don't know because it's the one of the list, the only list I couldn't actually get because where Cardiff threw away the list after the event and nicked the BCC ID, which is given the BCC ID, and people use their nicknames rather than actual names. So I have no idea who the person is, and I've never met them before. So without further ado, let's check out the list for Cardiff top 8 as well for the last event. So first place we have is Oliver Simmons, big notation. Check out his you can check out his YouTube down below because I'll link it down below to go to his YouTube and check out. He's a big fan of Bojack. I've been playing it since it released, and it's been proven that just going on to prove that the deck is actually really good, and Soul Striker isn't the only and isn't the best blue deck out there. So same list as he played for Leeds as far as we're aware, which we've already covered. So going on to the same side deck, and also once again, if you do want to check out, he did an interview with Crosswell TCG where he goes over the deck and side and stuff a bit more in depth. You can check out, and I think he's thinking of doing a series on Bojack for anybody who wants to live, because he's one of his favorite. It's probably his most favorite deck in the game. So if you want to learn more about the deck, I recommend check him out because he's just like most people are here from these events who have been playing non-stop with a deck, testing it, improving it, learning the ins and outs of the decks and the matchups. he's the one for Bojack. And then for second place, we have Adam with his U7 Goku, and so a little bit different to the other lists. So Adam was playing only 2 Quartz Sky. I think the same as what most people are playing. So the Vegeta Secret Rare as well, being like I think the best Secret Rare choice because you can actually grab it back, kind of like the Broly, which if you lose it, that's it. But in a 4-4 playset of the SS Vegeta, which I agree is really good barrier removal. And then for his cards, he is running extra card wise a playset of Afterimage Technique and then 2 Vegeta Emperor's Presence. And for Unison package, he has the 4 Jiren and 3 Videl. And he's also running Realm of the Gods Ultra Instinct for removal, and the Vegeta Resolve Renewed at 3, which is a very good extra card that almost every deck was running at least 1 to 3 of. And then for his side deck, he was running 2 Wolfpack Fists for that barrier reduction, because you can easily establish a use and keep it there. Then the Broly, he wasn't mainly that, he's siding it for Sneaky Peeky. Then we got the Button Raise for wide boards, 20k more. Corn Secret Down to help barrier remove. You can give yourself like a bean if you need it. Mine for help against blue decks and the like Dimension Magic. Dark Power to help deal with things that like to gain more advantage as well, and it's like hinder people from playing certain things, like against King Piccolo. And in a place of Shinchen One, I imagine to switch between unisons if need be, because it matches the same kind of cost of stuff and power, and gives different utility. So congratulations for Adam for making second with it. In the third place, we have Ian Biscuit Dickinson, part of our team -2, coming third place with his version of it, playing it a little bit different, as you can see. Not massively different, but a little bit different. So he was going for, like, most of the decks were going for the 3 specified unison, but Biscuit was going for the Piccolo Junior unison instead. Still with 3 Vegeta as well, very strong, and Yamcha instead to go with the unison. Running a Champa as well, the Vegeta Secret Rare as well. 2 Kozakai, whole playset of the Ultra Master. I think one of the might have been the only one playing the full playset. One really got extra card for removal, and he was playing Topo, only 2 of them. He's siding some as well to help, so he can stall to later games easier. Because he didn't play very aggressive, because Biscuit doesn't play aggressive. Plays a bit more defensively to get his later turns and grind you out. Full playset of the Afterimage and the Ultimate Essence. He was also playing 2 of the tag team. This is the one where you can win a unit of 7 in a activate battle for 1 energy. Protect a unit of 7 by giving it 6k power until the end of your next turn. So that means defensively and then offensively is 6k power more. And you get to play this as a 20k for just 1 energy. So it's not too bad. And then 2 Broly for the Sneaky Peeky and to test the opposition as well. And then for his side, he was playing the SSB sided for barrier removal. Barrier removal. And then 2 more just 2 extra copies, 2 copies of Impersonal Presence side. Raditz for that hate on people untapping energy in their turn without using Awaken. And then he's also playing 3 of the Vegeta Unison Mic, because this is a very good one. When you get to turn 4, you can slam this down -2, and then your opponent is, especially if you're going first, and your opponent then after that turn gets the 4 energy. They can't play anything by skills, so if they're reliant on playing things by skills, they are locked out of that. If they got no board, they have to establish a board by actually hard casting things. Very good unison, and I think he is liking to put this in after some games where he's played it and I've -2'd him and he's not liked it and found out how strong it is. And we've got 3 of the Dark Power Button saying to help deal with things like King Piccolo, punish them a little bit. 2 more Topo to help if he needs it to help stall for a strategy, and 2 Vegeta Royal Evolution because this is nice. It's a U7 to add to the whole theme of the deck, and also a nice card for if you get panned or stop from playing attack on battle cards. You can focus more on your leader using this as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so congratulations basically for the top cut, for making top 4. Then we go on for the next the 4th place, which is Ian Hinchley being the only person at the top with green the UK Game Fests. So he was running King Cold as the green deck. I think this is thing with Ian, he only plays green, his favourite colour. He's like one of those players that they invest in the colour rather than certain type of decks. So he's just gone for green, so that way if any new green comes out, he switches to it. He can easily switch between that, so it's a lot cheaper. And also, he enjoys playing the green decks as his playstyle. So he's picked up King Cold, and this is the list he's gone for. So he's got the fill cards, only 2 of the Unstoppable Invasion and 3 of the Terror Realization, but playset the good ones. Full playset of the Unison and the Berry Blue Help Field. And he's got a little bit of the aggression with the 4-drop, only playing 3 of them though, and 2 of the 5-drop. Also, be on opt for that control with the 4 Cooler, a very good card in this deck, and a full playset of Charismatic to go with the Unison package. 2 Paragus to help build a sack off the field so you can make room, draw a card, and then re-establish another one. Zamasu there for the hand control extra after making use of these Charismatics comes down. Paragus for the super combo. Goton for extra barrier removal because you can easily take yourself, because most of your fill cards allow you to take a life. So you can easily put yourself down to 3 to make this a 2-drop. That is 20k double strike and barrier removal, or help steal with unisons. And Boo, being a very good secret for this, just 2 energy, be able to drop it down, do like a pan, shutting off battle card swings for the rest of the turn, and also be able to take your opponent's unison by sacrificing yours, which is cool. Or at very least being a 40k double strike for 2 energy whenever you want. Bardock, who's going for the more aggressive overwhelm with Bardock, and then for extra cards, full playset of Royal Supremacy, great 3 negate, and then 2 Dormant Hostile Clones, 2 Cell Combat and 2 Dormant. So yeah, this is an interesting one. So never see, like, you don't see much. Normally you do see some dormant in some decks, and so not as like sort of been phased out because it's more costly, and green doesn't create a great hand. Like, it doesn't create a large hand, and dormant is slowly becoming a little bit less great, and also more costly. And a cell being nice how you can use it defensively or offensively, and rip things that your opponent's hand they might not want to lose, or give him a bit more attack power as well. And for his side, I think he built this mainly to deal with Ollie with his blue Bojack, because a lot of it hits it. So you got Kami to help deal with punish people who want to untap energy outside of Awaken on their turn. Kakunza for a good negate that negates and KOs a battle card. So if you got things like a U7 swing of Goku, you negate that attack and KO that Goku, so it's gone. Got this card to help punish people that try to play things that 20k or less, like just punish people trying to floodgate. Secret Density, so you can imagine switch out Unison to make utility to help deal with boards. Bardock to help deal with combo, and if you're keeping your opponent's hand low, you can keep pressuring with this if need be, and also deal with things like Bojack and both Bojack and King Piccolo. Then you got Realm of Gods, Champion Destroyers. This isn't great because green doesn't really need removal for anything, because he can easily deal with it. Like, he's got the freezer, and also as well, what's the other one? And you got freezer to deal with like big things, or even Gohan as well. And this, and with the extra effect that allows you to rip a card from your opponent's hand. Unlike Cell, you don't get to choose, so you get to let them choose. So it's 5k less than Cell with the comboing. And unlike you ripping something from your hand, or you choosing, they get to choose, so they can do something that's dead in their hand. Then you got Blue Impulse, which in this deck is a lot cheaper. It's one-off if you have Unison out. So if your opponent plays anything on your turn, you get to wipe their entire board, not ignoring barrier. And big or more, the store out decks that play 6 or more battle cards like Sin, Gogeta, U7, being able to stop them from being able to attack with them for just 2 energy was pretty great. So that is Ian's King Cold. Congrats for topping and being the only green deck that did it. So for next, then we go to the top 8. So the first one of the top 8 we have Stephen James, all the way up from that north, topping with his yellow trunks. I played against him at Nottingham as well. Was able to win out on time, so I managed to pressure him down and build up board, and we ended up going to time. And unfortunately, I had enough more life than he did. And this list it is different to Axel's, but I think they come up from the same area. So yeah, the same idea for Secret Rare play in the Cell. It might be, as I said, might be because they didn't have the copy of like Pan or Kai, or because they preferred to use this one because it's easy enough to bring out. And not 60 cards like Axel, and different kind of text. So he's So the first top line being same, only 2 Final Flash. It's interesting. And then with the rest of them, we got only 3 Turtles, 3 Goku, a full playset of Riposte, a full-on Krillin instead of like the other ones were running 3 of this and 1 Zamasu, 2 Poutine, 2 Cooler, Bot against Aggressive, only 1 Basil. It's interesting. 1 Forbidden Power. That's like a kind of copy of Nimbus. No, yeah, Flying Nimbus. And he was mainly used to being the Unison of Fury, which I remember in my game against him playing Sheeran at Knots. This stalled me out for quite a bit until I got the turn 5 to be able to actually attack with anything. And for his side, quite a few different side tech choices. So he's got the Trunks Unison, so I can actually switch out with the Vegeta. Then we got Secret Identity, the Ordered Boards. Release from Evil, this is a pretty good one if you got things that can attack multiple times. Shuts off all skills of them in your own barrier, which is really cool. Dark Power, about saying, they help deal with like harm things like Piccolo and stuff that play cards without keyword skills, everything careless. Absolute Annihilation, deal with things that rely on extra cards or like make it more costly to play extra cards. Extra card Forbidden Power, the second copy of Basil. Cloud Terror, so you can play it off of the Riposte. An extra copy of Vigneto Final Flash and a Tyrannical Blow as well. So congrats Devon for making you top 8 at Cardiff. And for the next top 8 we have Giovanni again with the same list. So just to show that he managed to top all 3 events. Got this one as well, the same list. So you can see it's that same list. And I think there was some controversy regarding his game in top 8. I think the time procedure wasn't followed properly. Timing, I can't remember exactly, but I know he was annoyed by after, and there was a bit of controversy about his game, about how I think the time wasn't followed properly. They were told time, they were told the wrong amount of time, and if it actually was time on the game or time started or end of time, it wasn't clear, and there was an issue that I think it ended up to Giovanni losing in the end, which is a shame. But he still managed to top all 3 events he went to, which is still a feat in itself. And then the last top 8 deck list I was able to get, being Joe with his King Piccolo. So this is like he did say he took his list was different for both events. Like if you look back, he had a different list to what he had around at Cardiff. So this version of the list he brought, similar to his the archetype for King Piccolo, but he was only running, but he changed it so he only running 3 of the Piccolo super combo and then 1 of the Wii super combo. Still 3 Vegeta and a Champa, Yamcha, and 4 opposition. And then he was running. I don't know if he's still running the Pan. I think he might have been running the Kai last time. And I don't think he was running the Secret Identity. I think he was running the Bardock. So he changed it the Kai for the Pan, the Secret Identity, Fighting Its Fate for Secret Identity. Also playing 1 main deck of the Vegito Unison and 1 Wolfang Fist. Then for his side, 2 Kai Ken for bar removal, Raise for widespread 20k swings, Corn for a Bean, also removing things through bar, like bouncing things through barrier with 5k, like things like Babidi for AOD and stuff like that. Bodhi Count for Sneaky Peeky, Realm of the Gods for early removal, Quetzalcoatl for punishment. Well, 2 copies, but you just have the different types because you want to be fun with that. Different, because you might have actually been running different arts. King Vegeta to help deal with extra cards that are played without paying a cost. Just any counter, being counter play, counter attack, and an extra copy of Wolfang Fist. So that's Joe's list. And congrats for being one of the few people that Joe for being able to top at least 2 events. I think not many people top 2 events, but I think there's a handful. I think it's myself, Ollie, Joe, Giovanni top 3. There might have been someone else as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then we have the last list that I couldn't get, being the Zamasu wish lead. The only information I do have, I don't know if he's watching or anything like that. I know his BCID nickname was Deadly Feet, So if you're watching, if you don't mind sending the list, I can add it to the description box to have all the lists there. So we'll be adding Max's after this weekend's webcam, because you might be using it for the event. And if you're watching Deadly Feet, if you like to provide your name and your deck list, I can add it to it so we can see all the lists of the top 8. But that's it. Like, it's been over an hour because it's got over 4 events with the list and everything going through the side deck. Once again, most of the people, anybody who is in like a team and stuff, has a team channel, I'll put a link down below. If it's not down below, just comment, and let me know your team and your link, and I'll add it to it. But that is the UK Fest, so hopefully we can see more in-person UK events and more, and try to get some more meta information shown for the UK, because we didn't see much of it. I know My Wife Hates Games used to do a locals will that showed a meta via the locals, but then but due to COVID that was like slowed down a lot. I don't know if he's going to pick it back up again, but at least now we see, now that IRL events are starting up again, what the UK meta is looking like and how it's changed over these few weekends. Once again, thank you for watching. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it and like the information, like the fact that I was able to gather this information put out there for you to see. Also comment below if there's anything I got wrong, or if there's any interview you want to see, let me know and I'll try and see if I can set them up with some of the players. I imagine most of them, they're all very nice people, all the people at top, and I imagine some of them, if they might be up for an interview if you want to see that. So just comment below and I'll try and get that happen. And also feel free to subscribe, it keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. Helps me get to my goal of 1,000 subs, which I'm currently just over, like a bit over the quarter of the way there. Currently at 300, and also I did have a giveaway that was ended yesterday, and the results for that will be given out tomorrow on Saturday. So look out for that for anybody entered. But the cutoff is gone now. It's the entries are closed. And also, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.